of Visit Ventura. June 29th, there's a job fair you don't want to miss. It's at the Crown Plaza. There are going to be tons of businesses that are looking for talent that you have, and they're willing to train. So all sorts of jobs from entry level to professional management services. Be there. It'll be fun.
Cities are nice, but they don't have the little things. Like little traffic, little noise, little expense, little moments. Sure, there's Golden Gate Park, but there's also Grant Park. Yes, there's the San Diego Zoo, but you don't always need a zoo. Sure, cities have the buzz of marquee lights, but marquee isn't the only kind of light. Yes, cities have everything, but sometimes you just need one thing. In Ventura, you can see the trees without the forest. We are teased and spoiled by the abundance of coastal experiences California offers. Some stand up and beat their chests while others lay back and cool their heels, but one simply squints through the midday sun and invites me to come, stay, eat, surf, and play, but you be you. I don't have to be rich or know a secret handshake, and I don't know any of the dress codes. What I do know is that I can park and walk to just about anything from tacos on the pier to an art gallery or wine bar at night, and find an eclectic culture of human expression and unapologetic character. I fit right in not because I try, but rather because I don't have to try in the first place. Day or night, the town has a casual soul, yet a pulse that quickens and slows with the indigenous offerings. Music, rich food trends, and a proximity to stunning conversions of ecological wonder. Colorful diversity and a storied history. You can drive right past it or even right through it, but when you stop here, you'll know you've arrived in a special place. It doesn't just sit by the sea, but it stands by itself in spirit and allure. And when I'm here, when you're there, it's even better than before.
June 29th, there's a job fair you don't want to miss. It's at the Crown Plaza. There are going to be tons of businesses that are looking for talent that you have, and they're willing to train. So all sorts of jobs from entry level to professional management services. Be there. It'll be fun.
Cities are nice, but they don't have the little things. Like little traffic, little noise, little expense, little moments. Sure, there's Golden Gate Park, but there's also Grant Park. Yes, there's the San Diego Zoo, but you don't always need a zoo. Sure, cities have the buzz of marquee lights, but marquee isn't the only kind of light. Yes, cities have everything, but sometimes you just need one thing. In Ventura, you can see the trees without the forest. We are teased and spoiled by the abundance of coastal experiences California offers. Some stand up and beat their chests while others lay back and cool their heels, but one simply squints through the midday sun and invites me to come, stay, eat, surf, and play, but you be you. I don't have to be rich or know a secret handshake, and I don't know any of the dress codes. What I do know is that I can park and walk to just about anything from tacos on the pier to an art gallery or wine bar at night, and find an eclectic culture of human expression and unapologetic character. I fit right in not because I try, but rather because I don't have to try in the first place. Day or night, the town has a casual soul, yet a pulse that quickens and slows with the indigenous offerings. Music, rich food trends, and a proximity to stunning conversions of ecological wonder. Colorful diversity and a storied history. You can drive right past it or even right through it, but when you stop here, you'll know you've arrived in a special place. It doesn't just sit by the sea, but it stands by itself in spirit and allure. And when I'm here, when you're there, it's even better than before.
Please join Edgar and his classmates in Miss Hill's 5th grade class at Sheridan Way Elementary School as they lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Class. Put your right hand over your heart. 3, 2, 1.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Stephanie Caldwell, and I'm proud to serve as the President and CEO of the Ventura Chamber of Commerce. This afternoon, it is my honor to welcome you to the 2021 State of the City Address, a time like no other. I'd like to give a big shout out to Edgar and his classmates for helping us out this afternoon with the pledge. We chose Sheridan Way students in honor of our mayor, who you'll hear from shortly. Mayor Rubalcaba is a proud alum of Sheridan Way. I would like to take a moment to thank all of the teachers, staff, and administration of Ventura Unified School District for all that they do for our communities, especially how they have continuously managed the changes during the past year and a half. You'll be hearing directly from Roger Rice in just a few moments. However, as a proud mother of a Ventura High graduate, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the hard work of our district and our schools. I know the teachers and administration work diligently to provide a quality education, assist our students with their social emotional needs, and work with the parents in the community to communicate every change along the way, all while trying to make things as normal as possible. Thank you. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Marlis Oster and her team at Visit Ventura. For those of you who are not familiar with what Visit Ventura does, they are basically the marketing department for our city. We know that tourism will be driving our economic recovery, and we have Marlis and her team to thank for getting the word out about how Ventura is a fantastic destination. The videos at the top of the show were generously provided by Visit Ventura, just to give you a taste of some of their incredible work. Thank you, Marlis. We're also pleased to have each of you with us here today, and we have an informative program that I hope will provide you with some thoughtful insights and perspectives for what lies ahead. The Chamber's primary mission is to ensure a strong environment for economic growth, job creation, and to attract new capital investment into the city of Ventura. Our Chamber is made up primarily of small businesses, the owners of which live here and are our neighbors and friends. 92% of Chamber members' businesses have 50 or fewer employees, and 82% have 20 or fewer employees. Our network of members is really a part of the fabric of our community. We connect our members to the people, information, resources, and opportunities that they need to be successful. We do this by providing networking and visibility opportunities, representing business interests to government, promoting our community, and by initiating political action. This year, the COVID-19 pandemic has created a number of challenges for our businesses, many of whom still struggle to reopen or open operating at full capacity. We've gone from record unemployment to an extremely tight job market. Each day, we hear stories of businesses who are pushing through these challenges, and through their resiliency, creativity, perseverance, and entrepreneurial spirit are driven to not only survive, but thrive. We know our businesses and our lives will be forever changed by the pandemic. But one thing I'm certain of, your chamber will continue to fight for you, support you, and provide you with the latest information and resources available. Our community is strong, and we will remain so. The next few months will continue to bring us challenges, but we will work to find solutions to recover from this crisis. I invite you to join us as we develop these strategies because we need your voice. By working together, we can shape our community and ensure that we remain the best place to live, work, do business, and raise a family. Anytime we have the opportunity to bring our business and elected leaders together, I always want to thank each and every one of you for what you bring to this amazing community. I hope that you will continue to engage with the Chamber over the coming year, and I thank you for your membership, your partnership, and your support. At this time, I'd like to thank a very dedicated group of individuals who are hardworking, and that's my board of directors. The Chamber is governed by a 26-member board of directors made up of a diverse group of individuals that represent an even more diverse group of companies. Thank you for your efforts on behalf of the business community. We also have a number of special guests here today, and I'd like to introduce just a few of them. Our County Supervisor, Matt Levere, is with us. And from the City of Ventura, are, of course, our Mayor Sofia Rubalcava, our Deputy Mayor, Joe Schrader, and Council members Doug Halter, Mike Johnson, Jeanette Sanchez Palacios, Jim Friedman, and Lori Brown, as well as our City Manager, Alex McIntyre, our Police Chief, Darren Schindler, and our Fire Chief, David Ndaya. I know there are many other directors and city staff that are participating as well, and I thank you each for your service and commitment to our community. Of course, these events could not happen without the generosity of many, many supporters. I would like to recognize our gracious sponsors who have allowed us to provide this broadcast free of charge to all of our participants. Our title sponsors, the Ventura Auto Center and Montecito Bank and Trust. Our platinum sponsors, City of Ventura, AMR, and Megan's Organic Market. Our gold sponsors, AT&T, SoCal Gas. Our silver sponsors, ERA and Southern California Edison. And our bronze sponsors, Aegis Living, Bank of the Sierra, CSU Channel Islands, E.J. Harrison and Sons, Sweet Flower, and Tolman and Weicker Insurance. And speaking of E.J. Harrison, thank you for solving the age-old question, at least in my household, which is, Mom, which cans go out this week? Am I the only one who gets that one? Well, starting on July 5th with your regular trash pickup service, Harrison will be picking up all 3 cans each week, so no more guesswork. Thank you. I'd also like to thank our media sponsors, CAPS Media Center, Gold Coast Broadcasting, Lunar's Production Services, Pacific Coast Business Times, Ventura Adult and Continuing Education, VC Reporter, and Ventura Breeze. As a membership-based organization, the Chamber is 100% funded by member contributions. It is through these member investments that we are able to complete our annual scope of work. A very special group of our members make up the Chairman Circle. You will recognize them as their logos have been appearing on the screen. And now it is my honor and pleasure to introduce one of our presenting sponsors. This organization was a critical link for many businesses as they weathered the storm of the past 18 months. The expertise and commitment of Janet Garufis and her team at Montecito Bank and Trust is a true asset to our community. Here today to speak on behalf of our presenting sponsor, Montecito Bank and Trust, is Kari Shore. Welcome, Kari.
Hi, thanks, Stephanie, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kari Shore, and it is my privilege to serve as the Director of Community Banking at Montecito Bank and Trust, the largest locally owned community bank on the Central Coast. As co-title sponsor, it's my honor to be here with you today. I'm so thrilled about the progress we continue to make on the road to recovery from the global pandemic. This is a defining moment for our communities, and it certainly has been a defining moment for Montecito Bank and Trust and our associates. Whether face-to-face in our branches or at home, like me, each of our associates has maneuvered through their own personal pandemic response to serve our communities, and they have been present in a way that is at the core of what community banking is all about. It is that teamwork and commitment to our communities that enabled us to work with so many organizations during the SBA's Paycheck Protection Program, where we provided more than 3,500 loans totaling over $320 million of PPP funds to local businesses. The choices we make now to support our community members, our schools, and our local businesses from the economic impacts of this pandemic will leave a lasting imprint on the future of the Central Coast. With the state reopening, I look forward to actually seeing familiar faces once again, to welcome clients into the bank, and to visit some of my favorite local shops and restaurants. This has certainly been one of the greatest challenges of our lifetime, but I know that our communities will prevail if we continue to stick together. I've been incredibly impressed with our team, and I'm certain a lot of you, business owners and leaders, have seen the same kind of camaraderie and dedication to get the job done in your own businesses. We are so proud to continue to work alongside you. I'm excited to share that Montecito Bank and Trust is expanding our presence in Ventura County. The lease is out for signatures for a new location at 300 West Esplanade in Oxnard. This opportunity will allow us to further support local businesses and help our communities to thrive. Stephanie, thank you so much, and thank you to the Ventura Chamber of Commerce for your continued leadership in this community.
Thank you, Kari. As I mentioned, this past year has tested our community in many ways. No other group has been quite as affected by the impacts of the pandemic and closures as our school system. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Roger Rice, Superintendent of Ventura Unified School District, with an update, a little bit about what they've been through, where they are now, and what to expect for next year.
Hello, I'm Dr. Roger Rice, Superintendent with the Ventura Unified School District. I really appreciate the opportunity to share with you where the district has been, where we are now, and where we're going in the near and long-term future. I would like to begin by introducing you to new members of our executive cabinet. As many of you know, Dr. Jeff Davis was recently promoted as the superintendent in the Oak Park Unified School District, and Dr. Danielle Cortez recently left her position to become the superintendent of the Pleasant Valley School District. it gives me great pleasure to introduce members of our new team. I am thrilled to introduce Dr. Antonio Castro, our new Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, and Mr. Brett Taylor, our new Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. I'd also like to reintroduce you to our newer Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, Dr. Rebecca Chandler. Our board has started referring to them as the Dream Team, and I could not agree more. These three individuals bring with them a wealth of experience and a fund of knowledge that will add great value to the district, and I look forward to working with them as a team to move the district forward. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, our district was working hard to make great strides in the areas of academic achievement, educational options, systems and structures, career technical education and innovation, and leadership support and capacity building. In March 2020, the board and I made the difficult decision to shut our schools temporarily while we made difficult determinations about the likelihood of the pandemic affecting the district. Little did we know the demands and challenges that would be placed on our students and staff for the next year and a half. During the spring semester of 2020, we had to redirect our focus away from the goals I mentioned earlier and direct our focus more on things like providing devices and internet to all students who needed them, purchasing and implementing online systems for educational instruction delivery, offering every child a nutritious breakfast and lunch. No child was ever turned away. Improving communications, including crisis communications, by implementing new software that allows us to communicate through voicemail, email, text messaging, mobile apps, and social media. Facilitating innovation and creativity that led to out-of-the-box thinking, like our students writing and directing virtual plays that were put on through Zoom to keep the arts alive and well. Creativity is also what led us to have our first ever district-wide graduation on the steps of the City Hall for our class of 2020. A collaborative celebration with our partners at the city. We provided a drive-through celebration with a view that hands down is the best in the city. The 2021 school year began with a fully distance learning model. As tier ratings changed, we changed with it and eventually opened to hybrid learning in December of 2020 at the elementary school level. Secondary had significantly more challenges to reopening, including much stricter regulations, but we were able to open to hybrid learning on April 12th. At the same time, we continue to provide distance learning options for those families who are not yet ready to return to in-person instruction. We work diligently with public health to ensure the highest measures of safety were adhered to as our staff and students began to come back to in-person instruction. This included COVID testing for our staff, hiring a COVID safety officer, conducting contact tracing, providing all necessary personal protective equipment, and putting a very thorough cleaning structure in place that included not just cleaning surfaces, but also filtering the air in our classrooms. Based on our class size enrollment and the physical space available to us, once the physical distancing was relaxed to 3 feet, we were able to bring students back to in-person instruction on a 5-day model. We remain the only district in the county to have that program in place, while most other districts remain on a hybrid system. Our teams work tirelessly to provide our students with a strong end-of-the-year experience. We supported the sites with elementary and middle school promotional activities. We were able to provide in-person graduations for all of our high schools. Since tickets were limited due to capacity requirements, we were also able to live stream these events in both English and Spanish. Our athletics, music, theater, robotics, and other groups were able to begin getting back to competitions and performances, all following the guidelines in place for each tier in place at the time. It was encouraging to see all of our students out on the field and on stage doing what they love once again. Many of these groups won national, international, and CIF championship recognitions. The Buena Color Guard team, who earned first place in all of their virtual competitions this year and in their final performance, received the highest score in their division over 12 other schools around the Southern California region. The Cabrillo Middle School Rusty Sailors robotics team won the championship award at the Los Angeles First Lego League Regional Tournament and are now virtually competing in the first Lego League Open International Robotics and Innovations competitions in Greece. Anacapa Middle School and Buena High School had 13 winners combined at the Merito Foundation's Countywide Challenge. Kelly Thomas, speech-language pathologist at De Anza Middle School, was awarded the Child Service Provider of the Year by the Autism Society of Ventura County. Thanks to the Chamber of Commerce, we continue to honor our teachers with Drive-By Teacher of the Month celebrations. Members of the Chamber decorated their cars and provided goodies for our teachers who have given so much of themselves this year. We cannot thank the Chamber enough for the continuing partnership that they have provided us and for the recognition that they provided our teachers. And I'm extremely happy to report that at the time of this recording, Foothill Technology High School earned a CIF championship in boys tennis. Congratulations, Dragons. So what does the future look like in the Ventura Unified School District? I have to tell you, I'm extremely excited about the opportunities that wait for us in the coming year. The district has received plenty of one-time funding from the state and federal government to support learning loss mitigation that will help our students deal with the challenges they faced this last year, both academically and social-emotionally. And we have a robust summer program that I'm really looking forward to that will help our students deal with any learning loss they may have experienced, but also to provide students with compelling opportunities for enrichment, such as music, theater, arts, robotics, and so on. We will be launching major initiatives this fall that we're all truly excited about, including welcoming all of our students to full-time, in-person learning 5 days a week. Opening our new K-8 school, Lemon Grove, in Midtown Ventura. The opening of Sa Elias Ranch, a new 5-acre organic farm that will be located at Pacific High School that will allow thousands of students the opportunity to build valuable real-world skills in one of the largest industries Ventura County offers. We are looking forward to seeing the innovation that comes out of this ranch for years to come. We are also excited to upgrade many of our systems and structures, including digital document imaging, online bus routing, and online facilities reservations. Our communications team is doing a full redesign of 31 websites, including all of our school sites and the district office. Expanded learning opportunities programs, including looking at community learning hubs, additional academic supports, and professional development. Looking at current facilities and district properties to determine the best direction to move forward and ensure we are providing facilities that are in good repair with state-of-the-art technology. Continuing to follow public health guidance and be open with our families about those requirements as we move through the fall semester. Continuing to work on the challenges of declining enrollment to see where and how the district can adjust our practices to meet the ever-changing needs of our community. Finally, we would like to wish a fond farewell to two of our retiring principals, Mrs. Marlene McMullen and Mr. Jim Sather, both long-term VUSD employees retired at the end of the school year, and each will be missed for the unique contributions and talents that they brought to our district and the endless hours they spent ensuring the success of generations of students. We know now more than ever that it takes a village to raise a child, and we certainly feel fortunate to have the City of Ventura and all of its residents playing such a critical role in our village. And we look forward to providing our students with all the tools they need to grab the brilliant futures that they have waiting for them. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Dr. Rice. I think we're all excited to see full in-person learning again next year. And now I have the honor and pleasure of introducing our mayor. Mayor Sofia Rubalcava is a native Venturan, elected to the Ventura City Council in November of 2018, representing District 1 on the west side. She was appointed the role of deputy mayor by her colleagues in December of 2018 for the first 2 years of her term, and then again selected to serve as mayor by her colleagues in December of 2020 for the next 2 years of her term. Sophia currently works as a district translator for the Santa Barbara Unified School District. She attended Sheridan Way Elementary School, as we mentioned, De Anza Middle School, and Ventura High School. Go Cougars. And in addition to her role as the mayor, she serves on the board of a youth mariachi program that provides musical and cultural arts education to children, and on the executive board of her district's chapter of the California School Employees Association, where she is the chief union steward. Please join me and welcome our mayor, Sofia Rubalcaba.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, for the introduction and the opportunity to join the Chamber of Commerce today. And thank you, Edgar and Ms. Hill, for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And thank you, Dr. Roger Rice, for sharing some good news about what's happening in our schools. And to all the teachers and faculty members and parents with students on this call, I want to applaud you. Teaching our next generation of leaders is one of the most important contributions we can make to the future. And as someone who also works for a school district, I have no doubt that you made many sacrifices this year to adapt and persevere through distance learning. So thank you everyone for your commitment to support our youth during the ever-changing COVID environment. As a resident and mayor of Ventura, my heart goes out to all of our neighbors and friends whose health or that of a loved one has been affected by COVID-19, as well as to those persons who have been devastated by its subsequent economic impact, or a dire combination of both. Personally, I lost relatives and friends to COVID, so I understand the toll that it has taken on members of our community. Far too many lives will never be the same, and we must keep those who we lost in our thoughts and prayers. While COVID-19 has certainly brought us unprecedented challenges, the crisis has also rallied our community to work together to help one another. In the past year, we have collectively experienced a time like no other, which is our theme for today. And I hope that through our brief time together today, you come to share my belief that although it has been an incredibly tough year for the city, we are well positioned for an effective recovery. And more importantly, the groundwork has been laid for future success in 2021 and beyond. Now is the moment to call upon our resilient spirit, our willingness to work together to overcome and ensure that all Ventura residents, including those among us who are less fortunate, have an opportunity to not only rebound, but to thrive as Ventura returns to the vibrant, special place we all love. And you should be certain, as a city and as a people, we will return stronger than ever. Many have commented to me, what a time to be a mayor, crisis after crisis and challenge after challenge. And it definitely has been a challenging year. But I also believe that in moments of great challenge, we also have the most opportunities. So I feel fortunate to be in public service and serve as mayor of Ventura in these times. Despite big challenges, I am not alone. There have been so many people, groups, and teams that have worked together to meet every challenge with hope, encouragement, and positive solutions that help us all prepare for when the economy swings back. Thank you to our residents and local businesses for staying committed and resilient throughout it all. Special thanks also to our partners at Ventura Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development Collaborative, Visit Ventura, Downtown Ventura Partners, Supervisor Matt Levere, and the County of Ventura. I would also like to recognize City Manager Alex McIntyre and the entire city staff for your dedication, commitment, and hard work in serving our community during a time like no other. I would also like to recognize my fellow council members who have shown unwavering courage and compassion. It's hard to believe that during the pandemic, we welcomed 4 new city council members. Since we have not had the opportunity to meet all of you in person, we created a video to introduce ourselves and the districts that we serve.
Hi, I'm Deputy Mayor Joe Schrader. While I've only been on the City Council for a short while, it's been a fantastic experience. And the one thing I've noticed is everybody's there for the right reason. No partisan politics, no personal agendas. And most of all, people want to work together to get along. Management team as well as the City Council. Thank you.
I am proud to serve the City of Ventura as council member, a mother, and native. and not least of these, a Black woman who is committed to the protection for all. My name is Lori Brown, and I was elected to District 6. I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you to all the City of Ventura residents for staying strong, for being safe, for remaining indoors, for wearing your masks, for caring about your neighbors and doing what's right for the community. We are where we are today because of you. It's a privilege for me to represent you in District 6 and the City of Ventura as a whole. Thank you for electing me and allowing me to be your representative.
Hi, I'm Jim Friedman. I'm proud to be the first elected representative for Ventura District 5. This community has given me so much, and I really feel like the best way I can pay the community back is to give back. I kind of feel like my role right now is that of the voice of experience for the council, because I was there in 1995 through the end of 2003. I was a member of the Port Commission from 2012 to 2018. So I've been intimately involved in city politics for many, many years, and I think it's important to have somebody that could bring that historical perspective to the City Council.
Hi everybody, my name is Sofia Rubalcaba, Mayor of the City of Ventura, and I also represent District 1 on City Council. I'm so honored and privileged to be serving in this role, especially because I grew up in this community. So it's such an honor to now be the mayor of the community where I grew up in. Working with the team of council members has been great. Sometimes there are challenges, but I think it's wonderful to have a diversity of different experiences and perspectives, because that really makes the outcomes of our decisions much better and much stronger. Our city staff has just gone above and beyond. A lot of people have worked beyond their regular working hours to make sure that the work of the city gets done. So I'm just so thankful and grateful for the great city staff that we have, and also working with the community. Every time that I see the wonderful things that people are doing, I'm just so impressed. And that inspires me to continue doing the work that we all need to do. So I just want to thank everybody for the teamwork that we currently have and the teamwork that we will continue to achieve together. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Doug Halter. I'm your council member for District 2, and I'm very proud and honored to have been elected 5 months ago to be on the council. It really is a team effort. I see all 7 of us bring something unique to the council, and I know with that we could help find the best solutions to solve the challenging problems of today. We also need to be mindful of the fact that Ventura still possesses what we all loved about old California. And we want to make sure that we don't lose that while we continue to prosper and enhance our community. So with your help and with the help of city staff and with the rest of my colleagues on the council, I'm looking forward to at least the next 4 years to help set the policy and direction for the most prosperous and best opportunities for the city of Ventura and for all of you. Thank you again for electing me, and I love being on the council.
Hi, I'm Mike Johnson. I'm from District 3, the college area. And you know, Ventura made it through the Thomas Fire, and we've made it through the worst of the pandemic, and that just shows how resilient the city is. That the people and the staff of the city of Ventura and the council members, we're all in this together. We're all on the same team. And I'm sure if we keep that up, we can get through just about anything. You know, it's been tough getting through this pandemic, and we still have a ways to go, but what we've seen in Ventura, we've seen so many people willing to just follow the basic guidelines. And I think that's why things are getting better here, and I look forward to them continuing to get better.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Sanchez Palacios, and I was recently appointed to Ventura City Council to represent District 4. I know this past year has been challenging, but it has also presented opportunities for us to work together to ensure that Ventura thrives. Economic recovery will be critical, and I am ready to work alongside my colleagues to ensure that we meet our goals and priorities. It is an honor for me to represent District 4 residents as your new City Council member.
Thank you to each of our City Council members for your hard work, dedication, and for your collective efforts in serving Ventura. It has been my privilege to serve alongside these talented men and women this year. As a city council, one of the important items we do together in conjunction with city staff at the start of every new year is hold a special public meeting to set the budget principles and council goals and initiatives for the new fiscal year. These financial documents and reports are also accessible through the City Council's webpage. After seeing city buildings closed to the public for more than a year, I am so happy to share that we are reopening City Hall and city facilities on July 12th. We are very excited to welcome the community back to City Hall and other facilities. And in July, we are also planning to host our first in-person City Council meeting with our 7-member council. The city plans to continue to host public meetings virtually and be open for in-person participation. So please continue to check our website for the most current information. Throughout the COVID pandemic, important and impactful city work continued. Even through times of uncertainty, the City Council is proud to see the city's resilience shine through and innovation take hold. This past year has been a roller coaster ride for our local businesses, for our shops and restaurants. To help navigate through these challenging times, our economic development team created the COVID Gap Plan to guide our focus and efforts through the pandemic. Through strategic efforts, we created new channels of communication for informing our business community of ever-changing rules. We supported policy to allow our businesses to operate and financially survive, and connected thousands of businesses with access to capital at the local, state, and federal levels. One specific initiative to help support these establishments was providing business expansion permits, which have always been provided free to local businesses. Given the pandemic and many of the restrictions put in place by the state this last year, it was more important than ever that Ventura did what it could to support its small businesses. The city provided 108 temporary outdoor business expansion permits throughout Ventura in support of our local business community. In 2020, the City Council partnered with the Downtown Ventura Partners to create Main Street Moves, a program in which 6 blocks of downtown Main Street are closed to motor traffic to allow small businesses to expand their operations outside. The Main Street Moves program was launched last year in June and has been approved to be extended through January of 2022. And currently, 51 businesses are participating in this program. Closing Main Street to allow outdoor operations has provided a lifeline to many of our downtown businesses and provided an opportunity to look at establishing an outdoor dining program in downtown as well as throughout the city. We are exploring all options and look forward to engaging with key stakeholders and the public throughout the process. And I am excited to highlight the completion of a recent investment in the city of Ventura. Trade Desk's revitalization of the 4th and 5th floors of 505 Poli behind City Hall for its headquarters. Currently, Trade Desk has over 160 employees in Ventura, and with the expansion to the 505 building, they will be looking to increase those numbers to support their growth. This was a multi-million-dollar investment. Our economic development team deserves so much credit for making this expansion possible, and I know everyone is excited to work with Trade Desk as they plan for the development of their new global headquarters in the heart of our downtown. Ventura is a resilient city, populated by strong and committed people. By working together, we have overcome economic recessions and a myriad of other community challenges. Throughout the COVID pandemic, important and impactful city work continued. And now I'd like to introduce our city manager, Alex McIntyre, and members of the city's executive team in this department director's video.
I'm Alex McIntyre, your city manager. I've enjoyed serving in this position for the past 2.5 years. The last 16 months has been particularly challenging, but I think we've proven that we can continue to serve our community through the most dire of circumstances. I think I look forward to this coming summer as we come out of the pandemic and look forward to presenting to you a newer, stronger Ventura organization.
My name is Akbar Ali Khan, Assistant City Manager for the City of Ventura. As Assistant City Manager, I oversee 3 of our operational departments: Public Works, Community Development, and Ventura Water. And my job is really to make sure that those three departments are in sync with one another, working as a team to deliver the good services to our community every day. While COVID has been tough on all of us, we do have some big changes on the horizon, and we hope to share those with the community soon.
I'm Greg Diaz. For the last 6+ years, it has been my honor and privilege to be Ventura's City Attorney. The City Attorney's Office provides all legal services for the city, from drafting contracts, providing legal opinions, to litigating civil cases on behalf of the city. What I love about Ventura is how respectful our residents are during City Council and other meetings. As a general rule, they respect the opinions of others, even when they disagree. I wish I could say this had been the norm during my career, but Ventura has been unique in this regard.
I'm Barry Fisher, the Deputy City Manager. I was born and raised in Ventura County and spent most of my summers as a youth surfing at our beautiful beaches. This year has been very challenging for all employees, but what I'm most proud of was our ability to pivot quickly and adjust to a new way of working during a worldwide pandemic. I am honored to be working alongside a very passionate workforce and look forward to see this resilient city bounce back and continue to flourish.
I'm Michael Kuhn, and I serve as the city's Finance and Technology Director. I love all the recreational opportunities that we have in Ventura, whether it's spending time at the beach with my family, exploring Harmon Canyon, or using the city's many bike lanes and paths. Due to the pandemic, the past year has been extremely challenging, and I am most proud of the teamwork that went into developing new processes and implementing new software so that we could continue to meet the needs of our community. Finance and Technology is committed to continually improving the management of city resources and to serve both our community and our partners in other city departments.
I'm Darren Schindler, Police Chief for the City of Ventura. As a lifelong resident of Ventura County, Ventura has always inspired me with its deep-rooted sense of community. As your police chief, it's important for me that the police department be grounded in community policing with community collaboration and partnerships central to our efforts. As we reflect on a very challenging year, I'm proud of the dedication and resilience of our community and of all the Ventura City employees who went above and beyond to keep us safe. As we look ahead, the talented men and women of the Ventura Police Department will continue with our commitment of providing exceptional service. Our mission to protect, serve, and problem solve with our community will remain at the forefront of what we do.
I'm Danielle Keys, the Human Resources Department Director. I joined the City of Ventura in January and served previously as the HR Director for the Ventura County Fire Department. With nearly 20 years of human resources experience, I am passionate about employee relations and our service to the city. Our department provides support to over 600 regular and 200 extra help employees throughout the city. In my first 6 months, I have learned that Ventura is surrounded by breathtaking views, kind-hearted residents, and great local restaurants. I'm looking forward to contributing to a diverse and equitable Ventura where staff feel valued and our residents receive the consistent and quality service that they deserve.
I'm David Ndaya, Ventura's Fire Chief. Your fire department serves the community out of 6 fire stations and a headquarters that we share with the Ventura Police Department. There are a total of 69 sworn firefighters in the field. On any given day, there are 23 on duty serving the community around the clock. Our core mission is preserving life, property, and the environment, also while calming the community's fears during a pandemic. I'm super proud of the city as a whole and of our fire department for continuing service and delivering it professionally and efficiently. What I love most about Ventura is the feel of community and the fact that it's a family. It's that feel that has kept me here for 28 years, serving this community as a first responder. And I look forward to continuing service into the next year as your fire chief.
I'm Antoinette Mann, your city clerk. I administer democratic processes such as the elections. I'm the compliance officer for the Political Reform Act, the Brown Act, and the Public Records Act. I'm the link between the public and city council to ensure transparency of legislative actions. What I like most about working for the city is that the residents are engaged. You volunteer, you voice your concerns, and you provide information to city council and other legislative bodies. Thank you for caring about Ventura and for being involved in your local democratic process.
I'm Peter Gilley, the Community Development Director. The Community Development Department is responsible for guiding, monitoring, and facilitating all development in the city. Well-planned development leads to better opportunities for jobs and housing
for existing and future residents, as well as an improved tax base to support the budget, while we have to continue to complete high volumes of work. Thousands of permits, thousands of inspections, and hundreds of items heard at dozens of public hearings. Over this past year, I'm most proud of the resilience shown by city staff. We will continue to work on the general plan update, which is a major policy document for the community's future. We will continue to improve the development review process to be more efficient and effective. We are excited to continue these efforts to help the community.
I'm Nancy O'Connor, and I serve as the Parks and Recreation Department Director. What's special about Ventura to me is how beautiful the location is, bordered by mountains, rivers, and the ocean. My department is responsible for enriching the quality of life through our city with engaging recreational experiences, bountiful parks, and effective partnerships. This past year has been extremely challenging, but what I'm most proud of is how the city staff met the challenges and was able to provide quality service, programs, and beautiful outdoor spaces. Our department is committed to serving our community with outstanding classes, programs, and experiences with all safety practices in mind. What I enjoy most about working for the city is being able to take pride in our community and the opportunities we can offer our residents.
I'm Phil Nelson, your Public Works Director. The Navy first brought my family and me to Ventura County in 1986. We love Ventura for its beauty, diversity, and down-home feel. And it's been my pleasure and honor to serve as your Public Works Director since 2019. Our mission is to build and maintain Ventura's vital infrastructure and facilities, and to protect and beautify our environment for the safety, enjoyment, and prosperity of everyone in our city. I look forward to the future, working with our community to meet the new challenges ahead of us and to continue to make the city of Ventura one of the best places in the country to live, work, and visit.
I'm Susan Rundgren and serve as the Ventura Water General Manager. I moved to the city 35 years ago, and I love the small town feel, the sense of community from our residents and businesses, and the beautiful outdoors from our beaches to the mountains. The Ventura Water Department includes water, wastewater, and recycled water services. Our mission is to provide local, reliable, and quality water and wastewater services for all generations. Ventura Water will continue to repair and replace our aging infrastructure, meet our regulatory, environmental, and legal requirements, improve our water quality, and secure water supply for our existing and future customers. I want to send a huge thank you to all of the city employees, our residents, and businesses who continued to work together during this very challenging year.
Even through times of uncertainty, this leadership team brought our city departments together to reimagine city services, rise above challenges, and serve our community. Many thanks to this team and all city employees for all their work this past year. And now I'd like to highlight several important projects which many people have asked me about. As you know, the successful operation of the Community Development Department is vital to the city's economic development strategy, economic recovery from the pandemic, and overall quality of life. Over the past few months, the department has managed, through several staffing vacancies, a significant increase in planning and permit applications, and ongoing technology improvements. As a result, there has been an increase in permitting delays, a growing backlog of new applications, and gaps in customer service. While these conditions are undesirable, I can assure you that City Council and city staff remain committed to providing a streamlined development process and a responsive customer service experience. One of the major changes that will make it easier to work with the city's development services is our new online permitting services portal, which is launching this year. This system will allow applicants to create an account, submit permit requests, monitor status, and schedule inspections. The department also managed the Community Development Block Grant Program, implemented and extended the Emergency Streamlining Ordinance, and adopted and began implementing a Commercial Cannabis Ordinance. So here on this slide, you can see other stats from our Community Development Department. City staff has worked hard to transition services online and adapt quickly during the pandemic to keep businesses moving forward. Planning completed over 220 applications, including taking 93 agenda items to 42 hearings, resulting in 57 final actions. Permit services fielded over 28,000 calls and issued 3,700 permits. Application volumes this year also increased by over 30% in comparison to 2020 levels, with over 1,000 applications received in the month of March. Building and Safety completed 10,000 inspections. Code enforcement inspected and informed 6,000 businesses about the county health orders, which was very important in the pandemic to help the businesses as the health orders continued to change. They also completed 750 regular code enforcement cases. Another important initiative you've likely heard much about is updating the city's general plan, which guides the vision of the future of Ventura for the next 30 years. The general plan provides the city with a comprehensive framework of guiding policies for land use, housing, roads, recreation, historical and natural resources, balance of adequate water supply infrastructure, public safety services, and serves as a basis for decisions that affect all aspects of our everyday lives, from where we live and work to how we move about. During COVID, the city launched the general plan update process and formed the 22-member committee, which meets monthly. GPAC is comprised of residents, business owners, educators, students, and other Ventura community members. Please don't miss the opportunity to be involved. Everyone's participation is critical to the process and highly encouraged. We want to hear your ideas for what we want the future to be like in Ventura. Some of the top accomplishments this past year from our Parks and Rec department include supporting COVID operations by realigning department assignments to support deployment and creation of thousands of digital and print signs to help conduct outreach in English and Spanish. It's hard to believe it now, but this also included the closing, opening, closing, and reopening of beaches and parks during the first several months of the COVID shutdown. Additionally, Parks and Recreation moved permits and applications online, as well as provided a variety of online recreational opportunities. The Parks and Recreation Department has resumed programs which are advertised in our recreational guide. Please visit the city's website to view Parks and Recreation programs and current activity guides. Our amazing Parks and Recreation staff members also worked with the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging, Food Share of Ventura County, World Central Kitchen, and the Westside Community Council to increase food distribution and weekly home-delivered meals to our food insecure population. Since July of 2020, we have provided over 43,366 meals to seniors at their homes, 34,806 meals distributed to seniors at the Ventura Avenue Adult Center, 80 families with monthly distributions of food at the West Park Community Center, 6,279 meals distributed to youth and families at the West Park Community Center in the past 6 months. We know that parks and open space are an important resource in our community. And to make play areas accessible for all, in May of this year, we kicked off construction for our first inclusive play area at Arroyo Verde Park. It's a 10,700 square foot play area, which is anticipated to open in fall of 2021. The inclusive play area will feature gathering spaces, a play structure, hammocks, balance beams, a sensory garden, motion inclusive carousel, sensory wall, embankment climbers, music play areas, and more. Project updates will be shared on the city's website and social media throughout the duration of the construction process. In Ventura, our quality of life, air quality, and preservation of our landscape is enhanced by trees. Our urban forestry team maintains over 32,000 street trees, consisting of 323 tree varieties. Additionally, this team works around the clock during extreme wind events to remove hazards, fallen trees, and large branches. This year, they responded to over 1,800 calls for downed trees, trimmed over 7,000 trees, and planted over 250 trees. The Parks Operations Team and the Parks Facility Team provides a park maintenance services for 46 parks covering over 800 acres, the city's open spaces, community and neighborhood parks, 26 playgrounds, 23 sports fields, and city beaches. This year, city staff removed hundreds of thousands of pounds of trash from our parks, placed several thousand signs throughout our parks and open spaces, and provided hundreds of hours of customer service to residents and visitors related to COVID questions. Housing and servicing our vulnerable population during this past year has been a trying challenge, but one where we and our partners have made a difference in so many lives. The Arch sheltered 111 individuals, with 17 moving into permanent housing and 23 into temporary and transitional housing. This great momentum took place even with reduced bed capacity due to COVID-19. The city and county outreach worker made over 870 contacts and housed and sheltered 52 people. Overall, this means 69 fewer unhoused individuals on our streets and into housing. We are grateful to all our social service partners who worked tirelessly throughout the pandemic to make sure that the unsheltered population continued to receive the attention and care they need. To show our dedication and desire to continue focusing resources to make impacts within our community, the Safe and Clean Council Subcommittee has changed their name to HOPE and Solutions Subcommittee, highlighting the need for housing, outreach, and outcomes. During COVID, our Public Works Department didn't miss a beat on important capital improvement projects. Some of the top accomplishments from this past year from our Public Works Department include advanced 76 projects and completing 17, with a total spending of around $30 million. Paved 21 miles of roadways on Ralston, Walker, Johnson, and Telephone, and added bike paths and bike lanes to these areas. They closed the gap in the bike path along Highway 126, replaced 40,000 square feet of sidewalk in our downtown wellness district, East Side, and on Cameron Street, delivered water and wastewater system improvements by replacing 634 feet of water pipes at the Seaward and Poli Booster Pump Station and wastewater plant, installed 740 feet of storm drains, filled over 1,980 potholes, removed over 2,000 graffiti sites, cleaned almost 5,000 storm drains, and diverted over 73 tons of household hazardous waste. Staying committed to protecting our local environment, effective July 1st, 2021, the City of Ventura will prohibit the use of expanded polystyrene or styrofoam, these containers used by food and beverage providers. We also launched our Safe Sidewalks reimbursement program this year, which matches 50% of the cost of the sidewalk repairs and provides a 75% match to income-qualified residents. Often when we think of a police department, the first thing that usually comes to mind is law enforcement. But today, our Ventura Police Department is really much more than that. Our department's overarching goal is not only to reduce crime, but also to improve the quality of life in Ventura. This is reflected in their mission statement, which reads, "We protect, serve, and problem solve with our community." On average, the police department handles approximately 95,000 calls for service, 10,000 criminal investigations, 6,500 arrests, and 1,900 traffic collision investigations per year. Some highlights from this year include, after welcoming Darren Schindler as the new police chief in April 2020, he has hit the ground running in hiring a new leadership team, drafting and beginning implementation on the department's 2020 to 2023 strategic work plan. And the new strategic plan incorporates some new strategies, particularly with regards to how our police interact with our community, as well as a few strategies designed to strengthen our community policing efforts. Other highlights of the new VPD strategic plan include improved police response times and crime clearance rates, developing an Explorer program, increasing in-person neighborhood and business meetings, enhancing employee training, and a comprehensive wellness program. As it relates to hate crimes in our community, we have worked closely with our city manager and police chief to safeguard the rights of all individuals, irrespective of their disability, gender, nationality, race, ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation. Bias-based crimes have far-reaching negative consequences for our entire community, and no stone will be left unturned as we work to identify and bring perpetrators of criminal activity to justice so that they are held accountable for their actions. If you have any questions or need help, please visit our dedicated hate crimes webpage on VPD's website. I'd like to encourage our community to be part of the solution. Implement or participate in a neighborhood watch program. Check on your neighbors. Know what's happening on your street or on your block. And if you see something, say something. VPD has always been a forward-thinking department, and I want to thank Chief Schindler and his entire team for their proactive leadership in helping create this new strategic plan. Pandemic or not, Ventura City firefighters provided uninterrupted emergency service throughout COVID-19 to residents, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of the call for service. Additionally, Ventura Fire provided and staffed COVID-19 labs, support, and testing. They responded to 16,606 incidents, totaling 20,055 unit responses, promoted an assistant fire chief. The Fire Prevention Division completed 12,201 inspections and 429 project plan checks, and they recruited and hired a few lateral firefighter paramedics this year. Ventura Water is dedicated to ensuring water supply availability, protecting the future of local water resources, maintaining and improving vital infrastructure, creating a long-term water and wastewater strategic plan, improving customer relations, and enhancing relationships with all local water agencies. In this last year, Ventura Water has accomplished a lot. Ventura Water is committed to equipping customers to use water efficiently. One of the ways the city is demonstrating its commitment to water efficiency is through the meter upgrade project, which is more than 90% complete. Your new smart meter comes equipped with an easy-to-use online water tracker that enables customers to visually see and track their water use daily or hourly and sign up for leak detection notifications. Another accomplishment is the advancement in the design of the State Water Interconnection Project, which includes a pipeline used to transport water between Cayeguas and the city's water distribution system to improve regional water supply reliability. In this last year, the city also received a $2.4 million grant and a $125 million WIFIA loan, which is a low-interest federal loan for the Ventura Water Pure Project. The Ventura Water Pure Project will diversify Ventura's water supply through innovative water treatment technologies. The proposed project includes an advanced water purification facility for potable water reuse. It will create a locally owned source of highly purified drinking water that provides Ventura with a long-term drought-resilient water supply. Additionally, the city has applied for another $2.5 million in grants for that project. And Ventura Water has saved $16 million by refinancing bonds. Other notable accomplishments include completing a cost of service study and developing new rates that will take effect July 1st, and upgrading our utility billing system, which includes a more user-friendly customer web connect portal. All of this to say, I am happy to report that overall, the city's financial position is stable at this time, but we must continue to be cautious and guarded with our spending. On Monday evening, the City Council adopted a balanced, on-time budget for fiscal year 2021-2022, totaling $303.3 million in our operating and capital budget. The city will receive $16.3 million over the course of the next 2 years through the American Recovery Plan Act of 2021. This money is intended to reimburse the city for lost revenues that have resulted from the COVID pandemic. City Council approved a plan to use these funds for one-time expenditures for community beautification, a one-stop shop permit center, improvement of parking at Mission Park, Main Street moves, IT system improvements, and facility improvements and repairs. Overall, general fund revenues were anticipated to be higher than originally budgeted, even before considering the American Recovery Plan Act stimulus funds. Overall, we anticipate that revenues will exceed expenditures. Ventura's sales tax and property tax revenues will be higher than originally projected for fiscal year 2020-2021. That said, it is imperative that we continue to practice smart and fiscally responsible budgeting to provide some measure of support and relief to residents and businesses as they navigate the impact and uncertainties caused by the pandemic. The city's financial status notwithstanding, the pandemic has had devastating impacts to our local economy. There have been dramatic shifts in business stability and employment. Ventura's retail and restaurant segments were significantly impacted by the pandemic. Diminished foot traffic, continued in-store limitations, and an accelerated shift to digital shopping has put much more pressure on brick-and-mortar retailers. Too many of our local businesses have shuttered. Ultimately, it's up to each one of us to support our local businesses and keep local tax dollars here. Collectively, locals helping locals can change everything. Thank you to the residents of Ventura who have expressed trust and confidence in me to serve as mayor of this great city. Yes, this is a time like no other, from a global pandemic and economic uncertainty to recovery. I am confident that as a community, we will come together and persevere. It's a tough time to serve, but I feel prepared and I am honored to serve as your mayor. And be assured that your city council and city manager are well equipped to provide sound, rational decisions. And we are proud to represent the residents of this great city. As we remember those who have lost their lives to COVID-19 and hold those whose lives will be forever changed by this pandemic in our thoughts, let us look forward to the day when our community can say that we made it through a time like no other. Let's keep that in mind and reconnect with our local business owners and our neighbors who work in Ventura. As we move forward together, know that it is my distinct honor and pleasure to serve as your mayor. Thank you all for your time and attention this afternoon, and I look forward to working with you to keep Ventura strong.
Thank you, Mayor Rubalcaba. We really appreciate your words today. I think we all can agree with you that, the power of our community and coming together collectively is really what is going to make the difference and get us through this and out to the other side. So thank you very much for your words. As is our practice during our State of the City, we typically end with some Q&A. And of course, because this is a virtual platform, the live Q&A is tough. So what we've done is we've collected some questions from our members and our board over the last couple of weeks. And with your permission, I'd like to ask a couple. I don't know how much we'll have time for, but we still have a few minutes left on the broadcast. So I'd like to get to at least a couple of them.
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure to try to answer some of those questions.
Great. So I want to start off with one just a little bit more on the personal line. As mayor and a lifelong resident of Ventura, tell us a little bit about what's your favorite thing about Ventura.
Oh, Stephanie, there are so many things that I love about Ventura, but I don't think we have time for all of them. So I'll just share a few. One of the things that I really enjoy to do on the weekends is, just get on my bike and go to the beach and just ride along the beach, on the bike trail. So I really enjoy doing that, especially right around sunset time so that I can catch the sunset on my way back home.
Yeah, beautiful. And that was a good activity to keep up during COVID. So it was a COVID safe activity. So I'm going to ask a question a little bit about community development. We know that our community development department is understaffed, and so much so that some of the critical management from the city manager's office has been deployed to assist community development. What is the plan to rebuild the department and train the staff And when do you expect that they will be fully functioning again?
Yeah, that we know that the success of the community development department is vital to the city's prosperity. And so over the past year, the department has implemented many aspects of the Matrix report, which studied how to improve the development review process. And so over half of the Matrix report recommendations have been implemented or are underway. And this includes improved internal coordination, reconsidering the role of the DRC and the HPC on a temporary basis with the emergency streamlining ordinance, and also preparing an update to the city's permit database. Planning projects are getting through the process in less time, and construction permit submittals are now digital. But due to the combination of staffing vacancies and the volume of work and the general plan update and many other land use initiatives directed by City Council, there is not enough staff capacity to complete the work, which results in increased delays in processing and backlog of work, reduced responsiveness, which I know leads to frustration all around. So today the department is at a 75% staffing level, with some groups like the planning division at 40%. The human resources department is actively supporting community development department in efforts to recruit vacant positions. And we anticipate 5 new hires to come on board in July. In addition, more contract technicians and contract planners are being brought on. And also temporary support has been provided by the city manager's office and the finance department, with 5 staff members assisting the department leadership with the vacancies as those are being filled. So this represents the city's culture of being one team working together to serve the public. The expectation is that these staff members will return to their home departments in 3 to 6 months, depending on the progress in recruiting vacant positions in community development. So we're all working together on this to try to move things forward as best as possible and as quickly as possible.
Great. Well, you touched a little bit on the Matrix report, and we had another question just to provide an update on the Matrix report, which I know you mentioned the components that have already been implemented. What will be the next component that's brought back to council, and when should we expect to see that?
So the next component of the Matrix report that will be presented to City Council will be the streamlining ordinance. And so there is currently an emergency streamlining ordinance that is temporary, and it'll expire in May of 2022. So a permanent streamlining ordinance is tentatively scheduled to come to our City Council by the end of 2021 or in early 2022.
Great. Switching gears just a little bit, talking about some of the concerns regarding the fire department. It was a significant topic of discussion during the budget process. Do you feel that the current budget allows for the appropriate level of support for our citizens in that area?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I know that there's a lot of interest in that topic. City Council recently adopted the Fire Department Operational Performance Study, and that was in April 21st of 2021. And that study outlined a need for facility improvements and 3 additional positions to optimize service delivery. And so as a part of the budget, we allocated $3.5 million to be set aside for fire station facility upgrades and additional operation enhancements. And so right now, the city manager's office is actively working with fire management to prioritize recommendations that were outlined in the study, as well as potential funding sources that would support these changes. And so the city will present a strategic plan for fire operations during the mid-year budget review in January of 2022. So there's more to come.
Great. What are your thoughts regarding the needs of the community versus budget constraints? There's always that push-pull of, these are all the things we want, but this is the money that we have. How can the city get to where we need to be? And when it's clear that cuts necessarily, particularly staffing cuts, aren't very palatable?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's always tough when you have limited resources. It's always tough to try to allocate the money in a way that's going to make everybody happy. So, I think through our budget process, our staff does a really good job of taking in all of the community concerns and priorities and wants and needs and balancing that so that we can provide as much service as possible with our limited funding. But the other important thing is looking at how we can increase the funding. So that's why it's important for us to support our entrepreneurs, our small businesses, because that is the tax base that we use to be able to provide the residents the services that we all need. So that's also an important part of it. How do we support businesses to create that economic prosperity for all?
You're speaking right to the heart of the chamber. Thank you so much for that. Moving a little bit more specific to your area of town and the district that you represent, the west side of the city is where properties are zoned for manufacturing and industrial, zoning designations that support business with high-paying jobs. We all acknowledge that in the decades ahead, we need to be transitioning from oil services and other industries to different business models. What do you see for the future of the West Side, and how can the West Side serve as truly an economic engine for our community?
On the West Side, we see continued growth of our small businesses and entrepreneurs and just creative things that are happening on the West Side. So as we continue through our general plan process, we anticipate changes in our land use zoning to help spur investment in properties that have been neglected and run down on this side of town. So this is an exciting time for the West Side.
Great. And from a city perspective, has SOAR caused more harm than good? And is it time to rethink the approach to housing in Ventura?
Yeah, I hear that question quite a bit. People talk about SOAR, but, focusing on infill development instead of sprawl and hillside encroachment is actually now a widely accepted as a best practice in land use policy. And so it's actually being highly supported by state guidelines and regulations, as well as our city's 2005 general plan. So in that respect, it seems like SOAR was actually ahead of its time. And so for the city, there are fiscal, environmental, and sustainability reasons for focusing on infill development. And there are some pockets of agricultural land surrounded by growth on multiple sites that may make sense to develop, but right now it's not possible due to SOAR. But overall, the benefits of hillside protection and avoiding sprawl make SOAR a positive thing in our community.
Now that we've received the census data, what is the process and timeline for redistricting in Ventura? And are you in favor of a directly elected mayor versus a mayor representing only one district?
Yeah, so at this time, we're still awaiting the census data. The state will receive the census data on September 30th of 2021. And they have 30 days to assign prison populations prior to releasing the data to local jurisdictions. So we will receive the census data on October 30th, 2021. And so this doesn't mean that we have to wait to start our educational process. The city clerk's office will start creating website pages in July to inform our residents of what's happening with this. So our first public hearing on this topic is set for July the 28th. And we need to complete the entire redistricting process with the new map and ordinances by April 17th, 2022. And that's according to the election code. So for Ventura to have a directly elected mayor, the city would need to submit a charter amendment to the public at a general municipal election. So at this point, that process would not be possible before we conduct the redistricting process. And it could be something that's brought up to the voters in a future election. And if approved by the public, then the district maps would just then need to be redrawn.
Great. So we're in the home stretch here. I have two more questions that I'd like to ask. The first one is regarding economic development and recovery. What do you think are the most important things that the city should be focusing on right now to spur maximum growth and recovery?
Yeah, so just some of the things that the city can do to support that is, supporting initiatives and supporting and fostering entrepreneurship and small business growth and development, creating and supporting policies that bring new revenues to the city, like, for example, like cannabis and streamlining efforts. Those types of things would support those new revenues to the city. Another thing that we can do is creating flexible land use designations that allow for the evolution of the economy. And also, the lack of housing of all types is something that doesn't allow for business growth. So flexible zoning and streamlined procedures can make housing more affordable and thus spur our local economy. So those are some of the things that we as a city can do now.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Many of those things are things that the chamber has been, focused on for a number of years. So we're excited to work with you on those issues. And then the last question is just a personal question. Again, what are you most excited to work on this next year as mayor?
I think one of the things that I am most excited about, and I'm sure many of you are too, is just being able to go back in person and work together in person, meeting in person, being able to go to events and hold meetings in person with others. So that's one of the things that I am most excited about. And I really look forward to returning to in-person meetings with my colleagues on the city council and just trying to continue to make sound decisions and good long-term decisions for the city. I think sometimes, it's the sexy thing to make decisions that look good or might make the headlines immediately. But I think we really need to continue to look at the long-term effects of the decisions that we make now. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to. Going back in person and just continuing to make really good, sound, responsible decisions for our city so that we assure its wellness and its prosperity in the long term.
Yeah, I think that's, it's those unintended consequences that get us hung up sometimes. And from our perspective, we share your excitement for meetings in person. And hopefully this will be our last virtual state of the city. And next year we'll be back in person, I know. And in fact, we, the chamber, are working towards in-person meetings starting later this year. So Mayor Rubalcava, I just want to thank you so much for your time and efforts on behalf of the city. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate you leading us through this last year and a half. I know it's been very difficult and challenging, and you and your colleagues have been stalwart in keeping things moving forward. So thank you so much. We really appreciate all of your efforts, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you all.
And I would like to also thank all of the rest of our speakers, and once again, our sponsors, our production team at People Media, and Heather Simagaisai, who is the Public Information Officer at the city, for helping to make our broadcast possible today. I'd also like to thank my staff, Ashley Pope and Michelle McGuire. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication. And as we continue to move forward to our new normal, I encourage you to read our e-news and check out our calendar of events. This fall is sure to be busy with those in-person events that we're all very much looking forward to. We are going to be reinstating our Connection Breakfast, which is our largest monthly networking event. Beginning in September, we'll be live and in person. Looking forward to that. We're also planning our Fall Business Expo, which will happen in October. And then a very special Poinsettia Awards, which will look very different than it has in the past. But I think you'll all enjoy that as well. We've begun to hold ribbon cuttings. In fact, we had one just this morning for a new business and for businesses who are relocating. I also hope that we'll see you at our job fair, which we're putting on next Tuesday. Again, this is in response to the needs that we've seen from our members. And we're partnering with the City of Ventura, with Visit Ventura and the Chamber to put this on at the Crown Plaza Tuesday morning from 9 until 1. We have about 42 different employers who will be there, and they have over 700 jobs available. So if you know someone who's looking for work, send them that way. If you have a child who just graduated and they're looking for their first job, we have everything from entry level all the way up to those professional services. And so we're very much looking forward to that. But most of all, we hope that we will see you again in person very soon. So thank you all for participating with us today. We appreciate your efforts on behalf of the business community, and now go out and make it a great day. Thank you.